Welcome back to Dracon's Place, The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild! Alright, so we're gonna finish our exploration of Hyrule Castle. Ooh, hello. Our weakest shield is the Knight Shield. Better? Better, better? There's a royal broadsword right there. Which would actually be better than that damage thing. Extra attack on it. Okay, well then. Alright, so we're rapidly approaching the end of the castle. I don't have a whole lot left.
The roof's protection is
Thank
now ready to roll.
Alright. Alright. Cool. Knight's broadsword. A better Knight shield. Oh, like it has extra guard on it. Durability's worth more than that little extra guard. Nice. Where'd it go? Royal Guard Spear! Nice. Not bad. Alright, that links all back up. Links. Haha! Alright, that allows me to skip most of the level. Alright, the shrine's there. Yeah, just a little bit. Got it. Alright, so those stairs up and out, I guess, is my way forward. That's gonna suck. Because from here I have to get to that upper place, which I believe also happens to be where the memory is, which we have to bail out to complete that entire deal. Because that, as far as I can tell, is extremely critical to the story. No! You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding. That's the tower. Got to be kidding me. Come on! Why does it have to be raining? I've complained about that dang rain system. But this is quite possibly the worst. Version of it for a variety of reasons. That's where I need to be. It's nonsense that they can shoot that many times, especially after getting it deflected back at them. Okay. I'm back inside. Okay. Edge of duality. Zelda's diary. After meeting with the champions, I left to research the ancient technology, but nothing of note came from my research. The return of Ganon looms. The dark force taunts us from afar. I must learn all I can about the relic so we can stop him. If the fortune teller's prophecy is to be believed, there isn't much time left. But turning over these thoughts in my head puts me ill at ease. I suppose I should turn in for the night. P.S. Tomorrow my father is assigning him as my appointed knight. I set out for Goron City to make some adjustments to Divine Beast Radina. I still recall feeling his eyes on me as I walked ahead. The feeling stayed with me so long, I grew anxious and weary. It is the same feeling I felt before in his company. Still not a word passes his lips. Oh, I never know what he's thinking. It makes my imagination run wild, guessing at what he's thinking but will not say. What does the boy chosen by the sword that seals the darkness think of me? Will I ever truly know? Though I suppose it's simple. A daughter of Hyrule's royal family, yet unable to use sealing magic. He must despise me. Oh, man. I said something awful to him today. My research was going nowhere. I was feeling depressed, and I had told him repeatedly not to accompany me, but he did anyway, as he always does, so I yelled at him without restraint. He seemed confused by my anger. I feel terribly guilty, and that guilt only makes me more agitated than I was before. I am unsure how to put today's events into words. Words so often evade me lately, and now more than ever. He saved me. Without a thought for his own life, he had protected me from the ruthless blades of the Yiga clan. Though I've been cold to him all this time, taking my selfish and childish anger out on him at every turn, still he was there for me. I won't ever forget that. Tomorrow, I shall apologize for all that has transpired between us, and then I will try talking to him. To Link. It's worth a shot. Bit by bit, I've got Link to open up to me. Turns out he's quite a glutton. He can't resist a delicious meal. When I finally got around to asking why he's so quiet all the time, I can tell it was difficult for him to say, but he did. With so much at stake and so many eyes upon him, he feels it necessary to stay strong and silently bear any burden. A feeling I know all too well. For him, it has caused him to stop outwardly expressing his thoughts and feelings. Oh, that's cool, they characterized it. I always believed him to be simply a gifted person who had never faced a day of hardship. How wrong I was. Everyone has struggles that go unseen by the world. I was so absorbed by my own problems, I failed to see his. I wish to talk to him more and to see what lies beneath those calm waters, to hear him speak freely and openly. Perhaps I too will be able to bare my soul to him and share the demons that have plagued me all these years. Father scolded me again today. He told me that I have nothing more to do with researching ancient technology. He insisted that I focus on training that will help me awaken my sealing magic. I was so frustrated and ashamed I could not even speak. I've been training since I was a child, and yet Mother passed away years before my training was to begin. In losing her, I lost not just my mother, but a teacher. Mother used to smile and tell me, "Zelda, my love, all will be well in the end. You can do anything." But she was wrong. No matter how I try or how much time passes, the sealing power that is my birthright evades me. Tomorrow I shall journey with Link to the Spring of Power to train, but this too will end in failure. Such is my curse. I had a dream last night. In a place consumed by darkness, a lone woman gazed at me, haloed by a blinding light. I sensed she was not of this world. Don't know if she was a fairy or a goddess, but she was beautiful. Her lips spoke urgently, but her voice did not reach me. Would I have heard her if my power was awoken, or was my dream simply a manifestation of my fears? I am sure I will know the answer soon, whether I wish to or not. I turned 17 today. That means this is the day I will finally be allowed to train at the Spring of Wisdom. When Link arrives, we will set out for Mount Lanru. The other champions will also accompany us there. I have not seen my father since he last scolded me. Things are too strained now. I will meet him when I return. Actually, I've had a horrible feeling ever since that weird dream. No one would believe a failure of a princess, but right now, for no particular reason, I am filled with a strange and terrible certainty that something awful is about to happen. And so it did. And so it did. Oh. Ha! Oh, that was a really, really clever setup there. Oh, that was really clever. Alright, normally there would have been a staircase here. Memory! I totally figured out where it was before, but you end up going here, like, automatically. Hello. This place is the most changed. It's right above Zelda's room. That's interesting. Oh, and that thing's replaced the veranda.
Incredible. We're at a point now where we can actually control them. At the current rate, we'll soon know all we need to know about the Guardians and the Divine Beasts. And should Ganon ever show itself again, we'll be well positioned to defend ourselves.
What are you doing out here, Zelda?
The king. This is the first time we get to see him alive.
I was assessing the results of the experiment with the Guardians. These pieces of ancient technology could be quite useful against them.
I know that. They are essential to Hyrule's future, and our research demands that we keep a close eye on them. However, as the princess, you currently have a crucial unfulfilled responsibility to your kingdom. Let me ask you once more, when will you stop treating this as some sort of childish game?
I'm doing everything I can. I'll have you know that I just recently returned from the Spring of Courage, where I offered every ounce of my prayers to the goddess.
And now you are here wasting your time. You need to be dedicating every moment you have to your training. You must be single-minded in unlocking the power that will seal Calamity Ganon away.
I already am. Don't you see? There's nothing more I can do. My hope is that you'll allow me to contribute here in whatever way I can.
No more excuses, Zelda. Stop running away from your duty.
Oh, man.
As the king, I forbid you to have anything to do with these machines from this moment on, and command you to focus on your training. Do you know how the gossip mongers refer to you? They are out there at this moment, whispering amongst themselves that you are the heir to a throne of nothing. Nothing but failure. It is woven into your destiny that you prove them wrong. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Oh, man. Her biggest problem is her self-confidence. Alright. Her biggest problem was her self-confidence. And her father was destroying it. Oh. Her research notes. Today I met with Impa of the Sheikah tribe and began research into the ancient technology in earnest. Impa introduced me to Pariah and Robbie, other respective members of her tribe. Tomorrow I embarked on an excavation with them. We hope to find ancient tech with which to operate the guidance stones. Today we uncovered some ancient technology that we believe may have the power to control the guidance stone. It is a rectangular object, small enough to be held in my two hands. Sheikah text is featured prominently on it. Sheikah slate. It is made of an unknown material, but we believe it is the same as the shrines scattered across the region. Impa proposed that I hold on to it for now. I hope that leads to some new developments in our research. The stone relic we discovered has been named. We are calling it the Sheikah slate. We have not found any mention of a name for this object in the records we have unearthed so far. Nevertheless, Pry insists we call it the Sheikah slate, as the relic is a slate made by the Sheikah tribe. It feels a bit on the nose to me, but it was not a fight I thought I could win. We did it! We finally were able to restore some functionality to the Sheikah slate. We have discovered that this stone slate is capable of producing images, perfect likenesses of things we pointed at. Unlike normal pictures drawn by a hand, this requires no artist to capture anything in perfect detail. I deeply admire the accomplishments of Sheikah technology. Still, I know there is more to learn. There must be. We believe the Sheikah slate may have a function that will allow it to control the guidance stone. We must continue our research, and quickly. We started training the champions who will pilot the divine beasts. It may sound rude that I find this unexpected, but Mipha mastered the controls with surprising ease. Daruk struggled at first, but eventually got the hang of it. Rubosa and Rivali both managed just fine as well. I can finally see the light of hope in our fight against the rising calamity. Robbie has restored the mobility to many of the guardians we've excavated, but we have still yet to find all of the guardians. Records mention a greater number of them, and even more other types. There are said to be stored in 5 giant columns that rest beneath Hyrule Castle. The thing is, no matter how I search beneath the castle, I can't seem to locate these columns. They must be buried deep. Were they perhaps designed to sense the approach of Calamity Ganon, and to activate only upon his return? Countless ancient structures are being discovered across Hyrule, while all attempts to enter them have failed. Records indicate that these facilities designed to train the hero who is fated to combat the calamity, but the crucial activation mechanism remains a mystery. Is the Sheikah slate the key to activating them? That is Pariah's theory, and I concur, and yet my experiments so far have been fruitless. Still, we must exhaustively investigate all means of opposing the calamity. We must not give up, no matter what. I spoke with Pariah about the Shrine of Resurrection we discovered earlier. As we speculated, this particular shrine is in fact a medical facility with the power to heal. It also has a long-term stasis function that can be activated and maintained until healing is complete. In the war against the calamity 10,000 years ago, were the injuries so great as to necessitate such a facility? If so, I will remain uneasy until we have made all the adjustments necessary to restore it to full working order. I can only pray that even if Calamity Ganon returns, our battle will not require the Shrine of Resurrection's power. And it did, unfortunately. Alright. Alright. Let's see. So I'm just kind of exploring at current. Alright, so that's where Ganon is. Leave area. Alright. So let's deal with the last of the memories. I now have a rather... It's not insanely fast, but I have a relatively quick route to the top. So we'll temporarily bail out... take care of the memory thing. And then I think I'll pause, get one more shrine, bump up my health by 2, and then return to the castle, work our way to the top. Yeah, because I can just go from the docks up and around. Cool. Super cool. I would also like to point out there are no bokoblins in the castle. There is also nothing stopping us from getting here early in the game, as they indicated. Holy crap, you will be overpowered. Or underpowered. Because single hits would result in death. You would have crap equipment, which would be rectified quickly, but your armor would be crap, and your health would be. Those would be the two big issues. And then I have no clue what the Ganon fight's like. Alright, so the combined bit of Zelda's diaries, research notes, combining all of that plus all the memories results in a pretty good understanding of the story at current.
Huh?
Well, you've returned. What is it?
Huh?
No, all 12 pictures already? You visited every place?
Yeah.
Then I suppose it's time. I reveal the location of the final memory. Here's what happened. Lady Zelda gave me specific instructions. She asked me to show you... Wait to show you this. I already know where this is, and I checked there and there was nothing. This is the final picture. Does it look familiar? From this village, you should be able to get there in a half a day's time. Now go, child. Seek out what Lady Zelda has shown you. Alright. Alright.
Oh.
Alright. Is that thing like you get that last? Is that what I'm to understand? Anyways, I know exactly where that is. Because I figured out what I think is the exact location, but there's nothing there at the time. I'm like, oh, I have to get all the memories, don't I? Alright, so let's take care of that. And then I'll do a slight pause, get another spirit orb, bump up my health, and then we'll return to the castle. It's a pretty quick ascent. And then I'll be ready to take on Ganon, I guess. Alright. Now to the question of finding that spot. Alright. Thought I found it earlier. Alright, got it. Oh, I was looking in completely the wrong spot before. I was lining up with the wrong pillar. Alright, what do we get? Oh, man.
Save yourself. Go. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me. Run.
Oh! She didn't defeat them, she banished Ganon's influence.
No. Link, get up.
Sheesh.
Just fine. The sword. So he can still be saved?
Princess!
Hello?
Princess, are you alright?
Take Link to the Shrine of Resurrection. If you don't get him there immediately, we are going to lose him forever. Is that clear? So make haste and go. His life is now in your hands.
Huh. So they managed to flee whatever happened at the castle.
Link. 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 You have recovered all of your memories of us from 100 years ago. I am here, inside Hyrule Castle. It is now time for you to defeat Ganon.
Well then. So, wow. Link managed to take down a bunch of them by himself. Pretty impressive. Alright. Anyways, I'm going to pause it for a second, find one more shrine, and then I'll come back with the boosted heart containers. We'll reascend Hyrule Castle quickly and take on Ganon. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I actually decided to keep this in because I realized, oh wait, I can just do the Shrine of, the Spring of Power because I got the scale, so I can just go there and complete that one. It'll be immediate, then just go level up real quick, and then take on the castle. Might as well show off the 3 springs. The Spring of Power, so let's make it red. Oh! Dang, lightning! Why? Why, Thunderstorm? Oh, that was short-lived. I was hoping to capitalize on the updraft there. Alright, now where is it? There we go. Very, very straightforward, which is why I ended up decided to do this one. Alright, there we go. please. This should just be a blessing because that's what that's what the other two were. Because getting your hands on these stinking scales is a problem. It's a blessing. No, it's not. Crap. Alright. Of course it's a test of power. Alright. The floor is covered in water, which means I can use ice pillars. Okay, I don't have a bow equipped. Didn't I? Okay, yeah, I did. Okay, I need to equip the sword. That's actually a really good edge of duality. Ow! I kind of jumped into that one a little bit. Okay. That's not what I thought I was doing. Alright, got it. Okay. Guardian Spear ++. Guardian Sword ++. Guardian Shield ++. What do you got? You're only 42. And this thing has a durability boost, so... A flame spear. Nothing special. Alright. Nice. Alright, now we just have to warp somewhere to, bump ourselves up. I'm gonna warp back to, Carico, see if Impa has anything more for us. Alright, so I currently have, what is that, 21 hearts. That will put us up to 23. So not bad, not bad. 84 shrines, holy crap. So many shrines. And I have like a good another, something like 8 to 10 in my shrine quests. So I managed to find the bulk of them. I just didn't get into a few. I think I have 8 to 10 of my shrine quests. It's not particularly important. Anyways, let's go back to Carico, get those boosts, see if Impa got anything for us. Then we'll go on. That's just an apple I missed. Heart container. Yeah, we have more hearts now than we ever do in, like, any other Zelda game. At this point. I like the fact that I can just respec this if I so desire. Alright, I'm getting something. It seems you have visited all the locations. 100 years ago, you and the princess were quite close. You were a comfort and encouraging presence to her as she struggled each day to fulfill her destiny. That is why she believes in you, why she has the strength to fight Ganon all alone. Link. The princess. Please hurry and save our princess. She has been fighting all alone for 100 years. Oh, that's aggravating, because I know where it goes! Let me have it! That one's been staring me in the face for a ridiculous portion of the game. Alright. Warping back to Hyrule Castle. Alright. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, that's super annoying. Alright. Let's do this thing. Climb back up to where Ganon is. Because I made it there. I believe I can make it there pretty quick. I've unlocked a route. Oh, kind of unlocked. Let's see if I can remember how to make this route work. Save. Alright. Okay, so the way to do this is to backtrack back out of the cave. Go in through here. Just do a little bit of backtracking. Back this way. Which should lead here. I turned off the dang. That's no problem though. Alright. Alright, yeah, right out this way. Alright, so I have a boss run set up. That's sweet. This is not the sort of game where I would expect to have a full-on... Alright. Then I just go this way. It's really, really dumb. Through the tree. That he can shoot multiple times, even after getting deflected. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now the route wonder if there's any route that... Like, fans have determined is the just best. Straight up. Or not fans, but players. You know what I mean. I wonder if it looks similar to the one I've kind of forced for myself here. Alright. Alright, Ganon. Alright, here we go. Save now that I have all the good stuff equipped. Oh man, what is that? Alright, we made it. That's a pretty good route. Only takes a few minutes. I'm saved in front of the door, though.
Link. 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 I'm sorry, but my power isn't strong enough. I can't hold.
Wow! Calamity Ganon. Whoa! I was... Okay! What the actual heck? That thing's huge! He seems to have merged with the Sheikah tech. Scourge of Hyrule Castle, Calamity Ganon. Okay!
Now my moment has finally come. Brace yourself, Ganon, for the sting of my revenge!
Alright, so here's the thing that happens when you have all of them.
This will be our final opportunity. We will not fail.
Okay, so what does this do for me?
Let's go, little guy. Now, open up wide, Ganon.
Okay. I'm not even gonna get into what that could mean.
Hold on, Princess. Our moment has arrived.
I love that just... That seems to be her thing. Oh, that looks cool. Ooh! Okay, so it puts him in phase 2 for me. That's what they do. And that's why you shouldn't do it without that. The question is, what sort of hell is phase 1? Wow. Alright. Okay. Whoa! Okay. That was a wind thing. Ah, crap. Ah. Ow. Okay. Ah! Okay. Oh. Oh! Phase 3? Alright, bring again.
The roof protection is now ready to roll.
Okay, he's invincible with this. Ah, Come on. Gotcha! That wasn't hard at all. Same effect as the Ganon Blights. I would like to know how Ganon went from being his Gerudo self to that thing. Oh, this is set 10,000 years in the future. It's probably after his defeat in, like, Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, where he was killed. And this is probably the result thereof. He's also killed at the end of Zelda 1, technically, too, and if you fail, he's brought back. Hi, Trojan.
Ganon. Ganon was born out of a dark past. He is a pure embodiment of the ancient evil.
Crap. I thought I had done it. Oh, now he's just straight up again.
Upon our world, the destruction will be unlike anything ever seen before.
That thing, Dark Beast Ganon, hatred and malice incarnate. Okay, I
entrust you with the bow of light.
All right.
A powerful weapon in the face of evil. Link, you may not yet be at a point where you have fully recovered your power. All of your memories. But courage need not be remembered, for it is never forgotten.
Bow of Light, 100! Where's the... Where?
Now's your chance.
Oh, crap. I don't have the good bow. Good Trojan. But you just pulled over that tree!
I'm holding back the malice.
What the?
Hurry! Please! It's working!
Alright, we got him most of the way down. Where the last one's going to be.
Link, now! We're so close!
Okay, okay, we almost got him.
Look up there!
What?
Possibly the cord of Ganon's being. Do what you must, Link. Do it, Link!
Gotcha! Alright, I knew the horseback vault would work. Of course, it was an eye shot. Ooh? Zelda? This is probably the coolest looking version of Ganon. Like, traditional Ganon. That wasn't too bad. What is going on? Well then. Okay. Now what? The pillars around Hyrule are blue now.
keeping watch over you all this time. I've witnessed your struggles to return to us, as well as your trials in battle. I always thought, no, I always believed that you would find a way to defeat Ganon. I never lost faith in you over these many years. Thank you, Link. The hero of Hyrule. May I ask, do you really remember me?
Oh. Oh, come on. I was hoping for a little bit more there. I was hoping for something special based on the fact that I got all of the memories. Was that it? I guess that was it. Okay, and we just get little pictures, or are these actually story related? Because I don't want to start going insane talking about this game if they're going to drop more story on us. So, just give it a... I think they're just photos and nothing's actually happening in them. Alright. In that case, let's talk about Breath of the Wild. Alright. So it's been one heck of a ride. Overall, let's save that, actually. Now, throughout the entire thing, you've heard me complimenting some parts, criticizing other parts. So I'll just quickly review some of the criticisms and compliments. I was looking for the word there for a second, that I have of this game. Now, let's start with criticisms, because they're easier to give. That's just how things are. And keep in mind, I'm trying to be constructive with these, not just hating on them. Early on, honestly, the weapon durability seemed like it was a problem. As you get later on, you get stronger weapons, so it takes less hits to kill enemies. Weapons have higher durability. As you go on, the durability thing... I always had enough weapons. Like, after... Like, the only time I was really struggling for weapons was, like, around the plateau and a little bit after, but it's like I always just had weapons available to me. My inventory was 100% packed with them. Yeah. So besides that, which is definitely something that a lot of people are talking about, I think they balanced it super well. I always had weapons. I was constantly upgrading my inventory so I could hold more of them because I always had too many. So, I think they balanced that super well. Because weapons tend to break so fast, you're incentivized to explore and find more weapons. So a weapon was your reward in a lot of cases for doing something. For taking on like a Bokoblin or Lizardoff or Moblin or whatever camp. So it was your reward a lot of times was a weapon or a bow or a shield, which is something that if they were better and they didn't break or it took an extremely long time to break, wouldn't be as worth it. But because you constantly need them, it was worth it. So I think that they balanced it perfectly, which is the key to that. If they didn't, it would be a broken, bad system. But because they balanced it so you were constantly finding weapons, and weapons were a reward, and you're constantly strategically thinking, okay, this is going to break, I'm going to throw it, or, oh, I've worn it down a bit, I'm going to drop this one to pick up the new version of it so it lasts longer. You were constantly thinking about that stuff, and they gave you enough weapons to make all of that actually be a thing and work. So that's my thoughts on the weapon system in this game. Let's see. Yeah. I want to give it huge props for the upgrade systems, because beating 4 shrines and then being able to upgrade either hearts or stamina, I thought was super nice. Stamina upgrades, very, very nice addition. They didn't need to do that, but it means a heck of a lot that that's actually in there. Heart upgrades. It's a good replacement to the heart piece system. Worthy successor. It still uses the 4, except now instead of just randomly getting heart pieces, you got them as a set reward. You knew when you were going to get them. Very nice. And then the balancing of them also being the thing to get stamina upgrades. Very, very well done. Yeah. Now, let's see. Let's talk about stamina. So, I feel like immediately drowning if you fall in water with no stamina is a problem. Swimming overall wasn't horribly bad. I feel like they could have toned down the stamina reduction a little bit, but that wasn't too bad. Climbing? Climbing should have been, your base climbing value should have been something like 75% of the fully upgraded climbing set, and then the climbing set will be the equivalent upgrade from there. Because that was a problem. You've heard me gripe about it a few times, but immediately falling off things because it's raining is nonsense. It should just be higher stamina consumption. Easy fix. It balances it. Just figure out that spot so you're just not just falling off the thing, which is annoying. Dash stamina. I understand why they tied dashing to the stamina system. It's because you use that in conjunction with your dodges. So dashing away is a dodge in this game. So it makes sense to have it tied to the stamina. The problem is it's perfectly balanced for in combat, but because of that, out in the field, the dash stamina costs are insane. You burn way, way too much stamina dashing around, unfortunately. Yeah. So it's one of those things where they're looking at balancing the combat versus balancing your basic exploration and transport around the world. My solution, if I was the one designing this, I would have rebalanced the dodge to be better. So you would prioritize dodging and not dashing in battle. Like, make the dodge good enough that you wouldn't need to dash. And then tone down the dash stamina consumption to accommodate that. I feel like they could have spent some more time balancing that end of it, the dodge versus the dash for combat, so that way they could prioritize dash stamina costs. And holy crap, that got loud! So that way they could prioritize dash stamina so you could run further in the world. Other than that, I thought the stamina system was pretty solid. Paraglider use was fine. Did I really talk through the entire credits and I'm not even done yet? Oh my. Let me continue, unless it's gonna cut me off with a cutscene. If it's gonna do a thing, okay. I'm gonna hold on my thoughts for a bit here. Ooh, I have the cool stuff equipped. Holy crap. Hyrule Castle Town's been utterly wrecked. You should feel bad. The king should feel bad. He messed up. As far as I'm concerned, this is his fault. I'll get into that, but... The end. Oh, we don't get anything more. I want no more. I want... Oh. Thank you.
We'll make our way to Zora's domain. Divine Beast Varuta. Looks like it's stopped working.
All of them have.
Let's investigate the situation. Mifa's father. I believe he would like to hear more about her. The least we can do is visit him and offer him some closure. Although Ganon is gone for now, there is still so much more for us to do, and so many painful memories that we must bear. I believe in my heart that if all of us work together, we can restore Hyrule to its former glory. Perhaps even beyond, but it all must start with us. Let's be off.
I appreciate they straight up use your horse.
I can no longer hear the voice inside the sword. I suppose it would make sense if my power had dwindled over the past 100 years.
Ah, not this again.
I'm surprised to admit it, but I can accept that.
Phew. Oh. Ah, come on. Oh, I like that. The silent princess right there. The way they are approaching each other, I thought, oh. Oh, stinking controller. That's just a problem with the Wii U. There should be a time. Just drop me on the menu. We have a star there now. Where's this gonna put us? I still have a lot to talk about. Don't worry, I'm going to get to that. I'm just curious what this is going to do. So I know that it drops us back in the game, but I'm not sure where. Well, it's at Hyrule Castle, so I know where. Exactly where I saved last. Leave this area. So I can just refight Ganon if I want. I don't know if that's exactly where it saves you otherwise. And I also can't believe just how close to the trigger I was there. It was like 2 feet. Alright. Yeah, it drops us before all of that. Alright, so down in the bottom left part of the screen, 34.16% of 100. Obviously. So that's my completion percentage at current. Holy crap! No, I suppose that makes sense, because I'm betting it's accounting for the Hyrule Compendium. fire blade. Wind, water. Alright, yeah, I don't know if it accounts for the compendium or not. Interesting that it keeps your photo. I appreciate that. Come on. But anyways, I think it accounts for your compendium, your adventure logs, all of your shrines, obviously. Oh, let's just see while we're here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 in here. It probably accounts for side quests, of which I have a lot. Alright, I am gonna get out of here. Anyways, so I have to finish my thoughts. Now, obviously, with that... Oh, the big thing on the complete percentage is probably those dang Koriks. I'm curious how big that number will bump up based on, shrine completion and a Korik. That's what I'm going to have to look at, plus if the compendium actually bumps up the percentage. And who knows what else counts for the dang percentage. Anyways, though. So I'm just going to finish my thoughts from where we started. Now, this is a Zelda game, so there's no actual post-content. Anyways. Switch control over to that, so that way if the controller freaks out, it's fine. Anyways. So, let's finish up our thoughts here. Now, let's see, I talked about the weapon system. I talked about stamina. I started talking about upgrades, too. I talked about the main upgrade system. The secondary upgrade systems. The ability to upgrade armor, which gives it, possibly a set bonus, which varies set to set. Plus higher defensive values, which means you take less damage. Very nice. I thought that was very well pulled off. I think some of the costs seem a little steep, especially for these later ones, but they're meant to be done in late game. But I just think it turns it into a little bit grindy at the end for that. Let's see. Other upgrades. The Koriks, in your ability to upgrade your weapon, shield, and bow inventory is quite nice to be able to do that. Yeah, that's a really nice ability to have, to be able to upgrade your inventories to carry more stuff like that. I think the costs are getting high a little too quick, but then again, if there are actually 900 Koriks in the game, kind of makes sense. But maybe they should have toned that down a tad. 900 seems a little excessive. tone that down, tone down the read a little bit. I think that would have been fine. There's already enough things to do in the world without there being quirks under every rock. I can't even imagine what the heck the map looks like when you have all of them. But, yeah, I mean, for reference, I mean, just down here alone, look, I have 5 right there. There's another one over here. I bet there's like 2 or 3 more through these areas, and then some more. Like, there's no way in heck there's none through all of this, or by the Temple of Time, or only like 1 up here. I just think I missed a ton. But, so I think they went a little overboard on all of that. Now, let's see. What do I want to talk about next? Your powers that you get at the end of the dungeons are pretty cool. The passive buff, from like Mipha's Grace, like an auto fairy that's better than fairies have ever been because you get bonus health. That's pretty cool. And then the recharge time helps balance it. So I think that's well done. The other powers are all fairly useful. My biggest complaint with them, though, would be Daruk's Protection. And I'm just going to use the gamepad. Because Daruk's Protection activates when... Oh! I didn't realize there was a timer there. I really appreciate that, actually. But Daruk's Protection, which is an active ability, triggers whenever you put up your shield. Now, I do know you can disable it. Does the timer actually go? The timer still counts down. But I know you can disable them. I suppose for an added challenge. But yeah, so you can disable them so you're not just wasting the dang things. Which helps a little bit, but I still think it's a little off. Overall, the powers themselves are really good. I just wish Daruk's Protection was like, I actually mean to do it. Like, I could trigger it to block certain things and not have to go into a menu to turn it off. I wish they had figured out a way to do that. Yeah, to a lesser extent, there's a problem with, what's it called? I'm just going to keep the gamepad on my lap. Urbosa's Fury. To a lesser extent, that's a problem because that's tied to the charge, but it's not nearly as bad. Let's see. The weather system overall is very cool. Have to actually think about, oh, is my gear made of metal? Am I a lightning rod? Although it's a little weird that your armor doesn't affect that at all. Because, like, Link's wearing metal right now, but it's fine. He just can't have a metal sword. But minor quirks there, but overall super cool. I've already expressed my thing on rain. The temperature thing's pretty cool, and actually having to think about what you're wearing for gear. I like that. Armor actually means something in this game. Because it's either you're wearing a particular piece for straight-up defense, or gives you some passive buff, or resistance to a thing, or protects you against the elements. Armor actually does something, and I feel like, for the most part, they balance that pretty well. I only know of few pieces of armor that I don't have. Like, the, I don't have the Sheikah set. I'm missing the headpiece for the, Rito set. Let's see. I'm missing the Ancient set. I know I'm missing these sand boots. I don't know if there's anything else like that. But, and those are just the ones I know of. I don't know if there's even more armor scattered about. Like, is there only bolt pants? Or is there an entire set for that? Is there a set that does heat resistant? Plus all the earrings and... I just have a few random questions related to the fact that I haven't 100% the game yet. Hello, Shiny. Something sparkling way the heck over there. Don't know if that's just a random... I have no idea. Anyways, let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Yeah. I've touched upon it a few times now, but overall I think the, world balance is pretty good, because it's not empty. There's plenty of stuff scattered around between the Korrix, weapons, wanting to get, more arrows, or just supplies, plus all the shrines sprinkled throughout. The world's not empty, but it's huge at the same time, which I think is very, very well handled. Let's see. Hello? I don't know what that was. Let's see what else. Let's talk about the shrines and dungeons. So, each shrine is fine. I feel like I love most of the puzzles in the shrines. Screw the gyro puzzles, though. Whoever programmed those things. Ugh! They do not control well, and I've heard... I looked it up out of curiosity. Apparently the Switch version also does not work well for those gyro sections. And you have to, put the left one down. Well, not down, but, stabilize it on something so it doesn't move. And just use the right one and barely move it. Which is not an option with the gamepad. There's no fix that makes it work. Screw those gyro puzzles. But besides that, overall, I think the puzzles in these shrines are super good. And then the, random combat ones. They just feel a little too short. Is my only complaint. So if they buffed the length of all of them and maybe reduced it from 120 down to 100 or 90 or something like that. And once again, I don't actually know if there's 120 or 900 quarks. I'm just going off of the last thing I heard on that. I have not actually looked into it yet, which is one of the things that I'm going to do now that I've cleared the game. If I catch it in editing, I'll put up the actual numbers during this point. But anyways, so I feel like if they buff the length of the shrines a little bit and then reduce the count from 120 down to 100 or 90 or even 80, they could spread them well enough and just buff the length a little bit. The dungeons themselves were fairly decent, still a little bit short, but when you actually consider the fact that I was spending anywhere from, I think the shortest I spent on one of those things was 40 minutes. So 40 minutes to an hour and a half. They're not horrible, but the fact that they're so physically small makes them feel too small. I need to do something here so it doesn't just go to sleep on us. But, so their physical length is fine, just the way they're put together makes them not feel fine. Which is that would be a weird one to try to fix. You would have to redesign them from the ground up for it to work. Overall, I think they were pretty good. I wish there were a few, random shrines you would run into that were, regular Zelda dungeons. Just throw a couple of them in the game. They didn't need many, just enough so you felt like some of the regular Zelda dungeons. Once again, the Divine Beasts were pretty good, especially for what they were. Just something about the feel of them was just a little off. But I would have appreciated even, like, if Hyrule Castle was just a straight-up, like, traditional Zelda dungeon. Like, just a huge Zelda dungeon where you're going inside and outside. There was a little bit of that, but not too much. It was just essentially area traversal. No puzzles, really. But good combat in it. A little bit too much of those dang guardian things outside, and then weirdly not inside, which was strange. But no good puzzles in there, at least from what I ran into. It was just straight up traversal with fights. But I would have appreciated a few, like, dungeons. Who knows, maybe something like that's coming in the DLC, which is a thing, and I will be playing. The first DLC, I'm not sure how much is actually going to be there for us. And let me not get electrocuted here. Let me not get electrocuted. But anyways, so I will be playing the DLC. I'm not sure how much we're going to get out of the first one. The second one has story to it. So we'll see how much that one adds to the game. But I will be coming back to play each one of those. Let's see. The story. Let's talk about the story. That would be the other big thing. I love the story in this one. Because at first...
The roof's protection is now ready to roll.
I've been talking for 9 minutes since we looked at that. Holy crap. But anyways, so the story is amazing. The fact you don't really start with much of it. You get a little bit when you leave the plateau, but then they're like, no, here's side quests to get the story. If you do the main quest of the game, you get a few scattered pieces. You get to meet the champions. But if you don't do the side quest, the memories, I think it's actually called Shattered Memories. Let me check that. But if you do the, like, locked memories, if you do the locked memory side quest, you get the story filled out and you get a lot more of the information. Plus, talking to people like Pariah, and I assume Robbie, but I wasn't able to figure him out. But talking to a few random scattered people like Pariah and Impa, you get more of the story. Cass gives you a little bit with his song. But that was, I think, a really good way of putting the story in, but not forcing it on the player. You kind of discover it, and you get it piecemeal, and part of the thing is trying to piece it together and understand what happened. So that was very, very well handled. The characterization of, like, Zelda in Link was super good, and near the end there, you got that piece of information on Link, and how he is silent because he is so worried. He's so silent, self-contained, and unexpressive because he has this constant thing hanging over his head of everyone's expectations of me. Just hanging over him, so the less he says, the less he's worried about them judging him for that. That was very, very cool. Let's see. Zelda's entire thing with her self-doubt caused by her father. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of this is his dang fault. We'll get to him in a second, though. But Zelda's self-doubt caused by her father, but her self-doubt was the reason she was not able to use the power. In her rejecting that onto, like, Link, who's dealing with the same thing. So, just very, very well done. Like, all that characterization. the king of Hyrule, driven by his duty, stopped thinking of Zelda as a person and as just as a thing that needed to complete a task. And his continued drive to push her and never give her support or encouragement or anything like that drove and created her self-doubt, and she was getting that throughout her entire life from him. From the moment her mother died, at 6, until 17 when all of this went down. 11 years of just constantly, you're not living up to our expectations. You're not showing us the power and what Hyrule needs. That got to her, causing her self-doubt and her inability to use the power. But all of that, I think, was super, super well done. I would have wanted a little bit more at the end there. You didn't quite give me as much as I would have wanted, but who knows what that extra story thing will add to the game. Yeah, and of course the other big part with the story is the fact that we get all these glimpses into a Zelda game where they lose and everything goes wrong. And the only reason it wasn't completely wrecked is because Zelda managed to seal him and hold him back. But they effectively lost. Link was defeated. We get a little bit of that with Ocarina of Time, but not to this level. We never really got to see all of that go down. We just know it happened and saw the results. In this one, we get both that and a bunch of the stuff that happened there. We got to see some of the destruction and stuff leading up to it, and so we get a lot more story there. Time-wise, as far as I know, Nintendo's not released any actual timeline placement, and I have not researched it, so I might be wrong at this point. But Nintendo has not released timeline information as far as I know. There's direct references to Twilight Princess, the Korrix, and all of that that's straight up Wind Waker. Although there's no reason that the Korrix couldn't have evolved or changed into what they are now. There's a lot of indications that this is set post, like, Twilight Princess at the very end of that timeline, which would make sense. It's 10,000 years after the Sheikah made all of this tech and beat Ganon along with Link. Hi, Blood Moon! Well, this is awkward. Gonna grab the controller so we can skip through that. But anyways, yeah. So 10,000 years ago, there was another instance where they won. Now, none of this technology or Calamity Ganon or any of that existed in any other one of the games, which means this is at the end of one of the timelines. My guess is at the end of the Twilight Princess one, but it's also possible this is what I believe they call a Dragon Break, which is a Elder Scrolls convention where you're bringing timelines together and rejoining them. I could see this being one of those. I could easily see that being one of those. So, I think it's post-Twilight Princess, possibly, after Dragon Break, or Dragon Beak, whatever the heck it's called. Possibly after one of those. And, yeah, so that's my guess on the timeline. Let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? It's a Zelda game, so overall, once again, the bosses were nothing special. Designs... he falls asleep if it's nighttime. I like that. Yeah. Designs overall were pretty cool, but the design of, like, Ganon was getting a little repetitive, and then came back for, like, Calamity Ganon. So a little bit of recycled designs, but the fact that the only bosses in the overworld seem to be Hinox, whatever the heck that desert whale thing is, and then the stone taluses. As far as I know, those are the only bosses in the overworld, which is kind of disappointing. That there's only 3 varieties and they just recycled them a ton of times. Watch. To be fair, there are 3-4 types of Phoenixes. And then those dang Littles, which are not bosses, but they're tougher than everything else in the game. Stinking Littles. And I'm still not to properly defeat one. I shot one with an ancient arrow and just whoop, gone. Which is disappointing. I didn't get anything from him, so I can't claim proper defeat there. I was expecting big damage, not just him getting zapped out of existence. But, let's see. Yeah. It let me keep the Bow of Light, didn't it? I was just thinking about that. No, it didn't. I do not have the Bow of Light. Noted. Oh, that's a little close to the edge. I don't like that. There we go. Don't want my gamepad to fall. Let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? I've been talking for quite a while in this one. Talk about that. Yeah, oh. Thank you, Link. You reminded me with your nodding off there. The attention to detail in this game is super, super amazing. Little things like, it's nighttime, so Link nods off. During the day, he's contemplative and thinking. There's a character near the beginning here who, you talk to him and he talks about how bad things are and how there's like the guardian, like a burnt out guardian nearby. He asks if it's a bad omen. If you climb up on the railing, he starts like talking you down, telling you not to jump. Just little touches like that. Things like characters actually react if you drop a rock on them. The myriad of ways that you can fight things and how, like, fire actually spreads and burns things, and just all the little attention to detail and the overall physics. Super, super well done. It really encourages you to approach each encounter differently and think of how you're going to deal with it. Are you just going to charge in head-on because it's a group of weak enemies and your strong weapons? Or are they a bunch of strong enemies? You're going to sneak in slowly, snipe a few with your bow, set off some explosives. Or are you going to pick up a metal box that they have there and bash them with the metal box until it breaks? You have your options, which is super, super cool. Little bits of humor they threw in where someone asked, like, oh, why aren't you talking? Or little pieces like that where they directly reference the player, like that last Great Fairy. You're probably thinking, when am I going to get to upgrade my armor? Just little things like that. Whoever was in charge of writing, or like most of the writing in this game, oh, they did good. They did good. The voice acting wasn't too bad. I wish it was a little bit more prevalent. Like, if you had a voice-acted character, they were fully voice-acted. But I understand they did it to cut costs. This game already had a lot of cost to it. Voice acting is expensive. It's one of the most expensive things in the game industry right now. But, anyways, yeah, I like the runes, and yeah, I like the runes, and I felt like they were a decent replacement, and this one anyways, for the item system, and I felt that was very, very well handled. You just always have the bombs on you. Your bow's just a regular thing, and you have it at the press of a button anytime you so desire. Quick select could use a little bit of work. I don't think they needed to put, like, these symbols for your powers, like Mitha's Grace, Urbosa's Fury, or any of those. I don't think they needed to put those on screen. And now, I didn't use it because I like having information. But there is an option here called Pro Mode, where you only have hearts. Which is okay, but I like having information. I like... If Pro Mode eliminated the weather, the sound, weather, sound, temperature, everything on the left but hearts. So in other words, you just had hearts in minimap. Bam. Perfect. I can see the rest of it. It's the dang minimap. I wish there was an in-between option or more customization, but that's not a big deal. Anyways, yeah. So I think I've droned on enough about this game and my thoughts on it. I've kind of given you guys a full review. Overall, an amazing game. Now, I'm not going to give it a score of 1 to 10. I'm horrible with doing that sort of thing. Just like, I couldn't tell you what my favorite game of all time is. I know a bunch of my favorites, like the ones I super enjoy. And games of very, very similar nature, I have an easier time, like, saying which one's best. For instance, before this one came out, my favorite 2D Zelda would be A Link Between Worlds. My favorite 3D was Twilight Princess. This one is different enough that, just like I don't know which one of those two, the 2D or the 3D, is my favorite, this one's its own thing. So, there you go. I can't tell you if it's my favorite Zelda, because I look at them differently. Each one has their own value. If they're if they're a lot more similar, it's a lot easier to say this one's better than this one. But when they're more different, you really can't. Which is why I'm not going to I don't give games a number grade. I just know what I like about them, what I dislike, what I think they could have done better. And just overall if I enjoy it. And this game was amazing. I really can't wait to see what the DLC brings to the table, and if it makes this already great game even better, and where Nintendo's going to go with Zelda after this. Like, I don't know where they can go. We definitely won't hear anything about the next one until after the DLC drops. Who knows? Maybe they'll show off another 2D one for the 3DS at E3. But we probably won't see a new Zelda game until next year. But anyways, so I will be coming back for the DLC. The first one, as I said earlier, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do for like a series. We'll probably be able to get a handful of episodes out of it though. And then the second DLC will definitely be a big thing when that launches holidays. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this epic adventure as much as I did. And I hope you guys will join me for my next adventure. So, I'll see all of you guys later. Bye!